Oh my god, it's finally done. This is the last one. This is the final one. This is the final CapsLock epilogue.
EpicLogue. CapsLock mumbled quietly as he trudged home. He let himself be defeated far too easily. Had it been in an epic troll-off, he wouldn't have been so upset, but being ignored was a disgraceful way to lose. Game or two of Battle Stallion 3 and he'd be back on his shoes and full of new ideas for a new day. Before he even opened his front door, he could hear his parents shouting at each other. He stood outside with the soothe on his doorknob, hoping that maybe they'd calm down before he entered. After a moment, the shouting only got louder and he heard his father's voice approaching the door. CapsLock opened the door and his father huffed out without even looking at him. His mother ran, screaming after him, and CapsLock slipped in unnoticed behind her. He grabbed a soda from the refrigerator and locked himself in his bedroom. The tiny space was crammed and cluttered with trash, even though his family had only just moved in. The only things he'd be bothered to unpack after his move was his TV and his gaming system. With the push of a button, his TV screen lit up and displayed Battle Stallion 3 in big bold letters. CapsLock put on his headset and selected multiplayer from the menu options. It only took a few moments for him to be thrown into a lobby full of other players. "What up, BTS?" CapsLock shouted into his microphone instantly. A collective groan went through the lobby. "Oh, not Tim again," one of the players moaned, the microphone icon appearing next to his gamer name. "Dude, back out, I'm not facing this ass again," another player shouted. The two players disappeared from the lobby, and the game began searching for new opponents. "They can't handle my swag," CapsLock shouted. He took a drink of his soda and burped loudly into his headset. Another moan went through the lobby. Eventually, two replacement players joined in and the match got ready to begin. "Oh no, that fag Quickscops 99 is in our team," an older sounding player muttered. CapsLock looked at his team to see which one of them was talking. The list went from highest rank to lowest, and of course, CapsLock aka Quickscop was on the top, and the bottom of the list was Bat Pawny, and he continued to talk. "I bet he boosted for that rank," Bat Pawny went on. "Hey, what was that?" CapsLock shouted. "I can hear you all the way at the top of the leaderboard." The screen went black as the map began loading, and CapsLock screamed in a high-pitched scream into his microphone. "Shut the hell up, or why didn't I mute you?" a voice shouted. CapsLock laughed the fade. He couldn't be muted while the game was loading, so every pony in the lobby had to listen to him. At long last, the map loaded, and CapsLock began choosing his loadout. Every single one had the most overpowered weapons and perks, and he chose a quick scoping class. The match timer counted down, and the second hit 0, CapsLock meshed on his controller. The stallion on the screen reared back and lobbed an explosive into the air. A few moments later, there was an explosion, and CapsLock was awarded credit for 2 kills. "You bitches all see that?" CapsLock laughed into his headset. He sent his character into a frenzy of spins and crouches while firing his rifle into the air. "Dude, just shut up and help us take the point," Bat Pawny shouted. His character ran past CapsLock's character and toward the objective point. CapsLock stopped spinning and watched his teammate approaching some explosive barrels. He grinned and zoomed in on the barrels. As soon as Bat Pawny was passing them, CapsLock pulled his trigger and the barrel exploded. Bat Pawny's character flew through the air like a ragdoll and was credited for committing suicide. "Tololololol," CapsLock laughed. "Dude, what the fuck?" Bad Pony shouted, as CapsLock celebrated his penalty-free betrayal. Quick digging around and help me take the point, the young female voice shouted through their headsets. OMG, hier sind die Philly! CapsLock yelled excitedly. He moved his character toward the point and saw his teammate, B4DSEED, prone on the ground for a buy flag. Yo, B4DS, send me a friend request! It's Bathseat, you moron, and no, the filly shouted with a Manhattan accent. An explosive landed next to the filly stallion and beeped before exploding. Bathseat, killed by a cider monkey, appeared in the kill feed. CapsLock brought his sniper up to his eye and pulled the trigger before anything was visible through the cope. He heard a ping and got credit for killing cider monkey. Quick-scoped, he shouted triumphantly. You're such a fag, Bad Pony said. I'm out of here. The screen froze and connection interrupted. Migrating host appeared in big letters. LOL, rage quit, CapsLock said. One by one, all the players in the lobby lost connection, leaving him only in the game. The game reloaded, and CapsLock began firing the sniper into the air triumphantly. An announcer accompanied a message that appeared in the middle of the screen. Enemy team forfeiting in 5, 4, 3, 2. Before the game could end, several new players joined the game and were spread evenly between the teams. CapsLock CapsLock barely paid any attention to the gamers' names and sent his character to his favorite camping spot on the map. All was quiet, and his new teammates chose their loadouts and got ready for battle. The enemy team had connected first, and CapsLock saw two of them approaching his spot. Before he could raise his weapon, his character ragdolled, and blood exploded from his head. What was that? He shouted, looking to the kill feed. Quick Scoffs 99, killed by Sunbutt 69. Oh no, not him again, he shouted. The player known as Sunbutt 69 was the only reason he'd failed to get his KD ratio to 4.0 the prior weekend. He followed CapsLock into every game and killed him every time he spawned. Dude, 4 strengths for Steve Leatherbelt, or level 18. Oh! CapsLock brought up the lobby list and saw his new teammate, Discord Short 420, was mic spamming with the soundboard. Before he could mute the player, his character dropped dead again, victim to Sunbutt 69. Oh, come on! CapsLock shouted. Yes, let the hate flow through you, a deeper voice said, coming from Disco. CapsLock gritted his teeth and chose his best weapon loadout. He didn't have time to mute his annoying teammate and ran back to the point he'd been contesting. He didn't get more than 2 feet from it because his character's head exploded again. This time he chose to watch his kill cam and saw Sunbutt 69 quickscoping him from across the map. Disco Short 402 was back where he'd spawned, emptying his machine gun into the air and spinning rapidly. All the while, low-quality dubstep blared through his mic. CapsLock tried to ignore him while he ran back where he kept going. This time, another player encountered him. CapsLock shot them, but they dropped to the ground and shot at him simultaneously. Fucking drop shooter! CapsLock shouted. He had to wait 5 seconds before spawning back in, and didn't want to watch the kill cam. Instead, he watched the player that killed him position their stolen body over his dead body. Don't do it, he said angrily. There was a short pause before the enemy stallion began popping squats on his dead character's face. CapsLock brought up the kill feed and saw it was NMM1337 that had killed him. NMM, you're my beach for the rest of the game, he shouted. As soon as he spawned, he was shot in the face by his shotgun and dropped dead. NMM1337 was standing next to his teammate, Disco Short, and both began teabagging his body. The enemy team is nearing victory, the announcer's voice shouted. One by one, CapsLock's teammates began leaving until it was only him and Disco. When he finally got to spawn back in, he was placed on the opposite side of the map. He saw 2 enemies with their backs turned to him and began firing. Before he could kill either, Sunbutt 69 came out of nowhere. The enemy tossed a tomahawk that embedded right into CapsLock's head. killing him instantly. "Are you cheating me?" CapsLock shouted, nearly throwing his controller across the room. The match ended, and he could hear uproarious slaughter coming from the enemy team. Sister, did you see that?" Sunbot 69 asked with a distinctly feminine voice. "We did, sister," NMM 1337 replied, excitedly, a female voice as well. "Let's watch it again." Everyone in the team watched as the final kill-cam of the game was played from Sunbot 69's perspective. Her stallion was levitating the tomahawk long before CapsLock spawned in. It jumped off a ledge and spun around in slow motion before releasing the tomahawk. The throwing projectile spun through the air and zeroed in CapsLock's head. A collective "Aww" went through the lobby, and the stallion dropped to the ground. The screen went black, and the players were returned to the pre-game lobby. "You're a beach, Sunbot!" CapsLock shouted, his voice cracking. The lobby laughed at how young he sounded. "We have a squeaker!" Sunbot 69 shouted. Another laugh went through the lobby. "And you sound like you're 40, Shoodoop!" CapsLock replied. Before they could even reply, he backed out of the lobby. A commotion started outside CapsLock's room as his parents burst back into the house. He turned up his headset volume and tried to ignore them. He began searching for a new game, and after a moment it made him the host for other players to connect to. Almost instantly, Sunbot, NMM, and Disco joined his lobby. Before any of them could say anything, the argument outside CapsLock's room exploded. The full lobby connected, and every pony stopped their conversations to listen to CapsLock's parents. "Dude, who has the shitty mic? Turn that shit down. It sounds like somebody is getting raped," one of the new players commented. "That would be Quickscops," somebody commented. "It sounds like his parents' marriage was ruined after he was born." The lobby laughed as CapsLock's rage quit for it. An icon blinked in the top left corner of the screen, indicating he had a new message. He opened his inbox and saw there was a message from Discord 4002. The subject was "Sweet Dreams," and CapsLock opened it out of curiosity. A photo of a laughing, blood-splattered clown flashed across the screen, and carnival music blared through his headset. Literally pissed himself. It took him about 20 minutes to recover, and when he did, he snuck his urine-soaked bedding out of his room past his parents. His father and mother were now on the couch screaming. Only not at each other anymore. CapsLock tossed the bedding into the round room, grabbed another soda, and returned to his room. His inbox now said he had over 100 messages, all from Sunbot, NMM, and Disco. Some of the messages were pictures, and some were voice messages, and others were game invites. A new game invite from Sunbot 69 appeared on the top of the list as CapsLock was deleting them. After a moment of contemplation, he accepted it and was thrown into their lobby. "There he is," Discord Short said, no longer using his soundboard. CapsLock couldn't help it but think he sounded like a pedophile. "What do you asses want?" CapsLock said angrily. The three older players snickered quietly, but managed to keep their laughter in check. "Your 3.48 KD is really impressive," NMM said with a hint of sarcasm. "We would like you to join our clan." "Yeah, all you have to do is sign up at lemonparty.org. I assure you, it's very easy," Sunbot 69 said, trying to hold back laughter. "You think I'm stupid?" CapsLock shouted. "I know what the site is." "He has passed the first test," Disco Short shouted triumphantly. Without warning, the lobby joined with another one, and the countdown clock began. CapsLock looked at the game type, and his heart sank. "Why are we in hardcore?" he asked nervously. "It's an excellent experience," NNM shouted unnecessarily. There was a brief pause, and the mayor shouted in falsetto, "Hi, Killersweg, I had intercourse with your mother." The screen had gone blank as the map began to load, leaving no time for Killersweg to see who had spoken. "Who the fuck said that?" he shouted angrily. "I think it was Quickscops. Faggot," a different falsetto voice shouted. Even CapsLock couldn't tell who it was. Before he could object, the match started and his character was shot to death from behind. Killersweg ran forward and began knifing at the corpse. "Dude," CapsLock shouted angrily, "that wasn't me." "You're a fucking liar, you little bitch," Killersweg said. Ran off as CapsLock spawned back in. Caps sprinted through the forest, The match took place in and got to his favorite glitched spot. He positioned his character between two rocks, so only the barrel of his gun was sticking out. He'd been there less than 5 seconds when Sun ran in front of him. "Move!" he shouted, as Sunbud strafed back and forth in his line of sight. 3 enemies came down the path, and Sunbud ground them all down. "Those were mine kills!" CapsLock shouted. Without a word, Sunbud turned and put 2 bullets into CapsLock's head. "Oh dear," she said with a fake surprise. "You startled me." CapsLock spawned and was instantly sniped by Killer Swag. "Dude, seriously? Why the hell did you walk in front of me while I was sniping?" Killer Swag shouted. "I spawned there! Minotaur shit!" "We have our Pegasi swarm!" NMM shouted joyously. Hundreds of Pegasi appeared in the sky, dropping bombs all around the map. CapsLock sent his character for cover in a building and switched to his shotgun. An enemy rounded the corner as he pulled the trigger. Killer Swag jumped in front of him. Both his teammate and his enemy dropped dead. "That was an accident!" CapsLock shouted before Killer could start yelling at him. Suddenly, Disco Short 420 ran into the building and stood behind CapsLock. "I got you a present, Mr. Scoffs," Disco said deviously. Caps turned to look at his teammate and saw him holding up a lung of explosives. Before he could move, Disco tossed it at the ground and detonated it, blowing them both up. "Why did you do that?" CapsLock shouted. "My apologies, I thought it was a first aid kit," Disco shouted before taking his shotgun, shooting at the new spawned stallion in the back of the head. "Oh, and I thought you were an enemy that time." Killer Swag silently left the game, leaving only the 4 players. CapsLock continuously spawned out of cover, only to be blown up by NMM's Pegasi swarm. Of course, skill streak betrayals counted the deaths, and CapsLock had no so impressive 1 to 15 kill death strat. "One more kill for the magic nuke!" NMM shouted. CapsLock, fed up with being spawn kills by teammates and enemies alike, tossed a fragmentation grenade into the air angrily. After a few seconds, there was an explosion and CapsLock's screen went black. "What happened?" he asked angrily. He was thrown back to the pre-game lobby, and the message on the screen said, "Team killing is not allowed. You've lost 1 rank and you can't gain experience for 5 games." A moment later, he got a voice message from NNM. He clicked to play and listened to the angry mayor. "Thou wilt never sleep again. We will hound thee until the end of time." Luna flumed after sending the message. Her sister Celestia sat on the couch next to her, trying not to laugh. They each had headsets on and were levitating controllers in the different colored auras. A knock came on the door of the game room, and Discord walked in. He had his own wireless headset and a big smile on his face. "That was fun," Discord said, swinging between the 2 alicons. "But do you think we were a little too mean?" "No," Luna grumbled. Celestia smiled. "He does it to himself. The internet is no place for a small." Author's note. It is complete. Now, while you can feel sympathy for CapsLock, you shouldn't. If you would like to use CapsLock for any of your stories, I'd be flattered. Also, this is Discord Mixspam, http://www.youtube.com/watch !u equals 60J09DBOUTK. So, if you want to copy that. And it's finally done. And I have to say, this last chapter, the epilogue, was so hard to read. I mean, seriously, why does the name have to be NMM? That's like... Sorry for doing that. But seriously, that's like, why doesn't he just write Nightmare Moon? I mean, everyone knows that when it's NMM1337, that's Nightmare Moon Lead. Like, it's much easier to speak if you just write it. Same for Sunbud69. I could have read Celestia all along. Or with Babseed, like B4BS33D. Yeah, so cool. And then Disco Short 420. Seriously? Seriously? Are you shitting me? That's only really hard to read, and often you kind of want to read Discord because it's Discord, so obviously. Jesus Christ. So this last chapter was hard to read, seriously. But all in all, I can say that the story was quite fun, even though I now kind of hate CapsLock because he's like an unlikable character and I don't like him, and I think that's the whole point of it. But I think it was an okay story. It wasn't that impressive. I mean, I've seen this concept before. I got to say the concept was well executed, so nothing to say there. But I don't know, I just hate trolls. So basically that's why my hate for the story comes from, because of the antagonist character was so well played, I think. So in a way the story did so good that I just had to hate it, because oh my god, I hate CapsLock and I hate friggin' little trolls and screamers and kids who play Battlestallion 3 and oh my god, and it's terrible. Anyway, this was the best reading ever. And I'm signing off. See you guys.
I really hope you liked it.
Because if not, I am going to come to your house and I am going to put my dick in your mother's face. Stop insulting the viewers, CapsLock. I don't think that's very nice.
I have been looking forward for this for the entire time, because now comes silence.